Hey guys, so about a year ago, I made a video showing everybody how to make simple picture books tactile using embossing powder. And I want to expand on that and show you how to use your Cricut machine to make embossed pictures. So if you have Cricut, go ahead and open up your Cricut Design Space and get to your canvas. You're going to go to Images. And when you guys are embossing, we're going to be using the Embossing Ranger bullet pen. And so since it's going to be something that we're going to draw, I want to make sure that I only get draw images. And so let's go ahead and do a pig. I'll do a pig. I will do a beaver, and I'll do an elephant. So I'm going to go ahead and insert those images. I don't know why I have more than... Oh, I think that's from a previous project. So I'm going to go ahead and do insert images. And so what I want to do is I'm going to print out 3 of these, but I want to make sure that I have the paper to be the right size. So to kind of give me some reference, I'm going to go ahead and insert a square. I'm going to unlock it so I could change the sizes. I'm going to change that to white just to make it easier for me and send it to the back. So let's see. Okay, so I will make it about that big. And then I'll do the beaver the same. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the piggy the same. Okay, so that looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and erase that just because I don't want it to cut. I'm going to go to Make It. Now, when you go under Make It, it's automatically going to lump all of them together. I don't want it all together because I'm going to try to add each image to a new page. So what I'm going to do is I will go ahead and put this against, I'll put about 1 inch just to make sure, so that I'm going to put the paper down. It'll be 8 by 11. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Right there. Let's do the beaver. Looks good right there. Okay. So then you're going to go to Continue. And then we're going to go ahead and set the machine up. Okay, so I do have my paper on my Cricut mat, and so I'm going to go ahead and insert that. And this is where you want to go ahead and insert your Ranger bullet pen, the bullet pen. So you want to go ahead and put it in clamp 8. And again, Ranger did not make this pen specifically for this, but it fits perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and pause and then do this in hyperlapse so you guys don't have to sit here and watch the whole thing. So I'm not sure if you guys are able to see this properly. Let me see if I can turn the light on and help. So you'll notice that my little piggy is on the paper. His ear did get cut off a little bit because I do have hole punches, but it's essentially a clear wet mark, and this is what you're going to pour the embossing powder on top of. Okay, so I have all 3 of my images. Let me actually turn some of the light on so you guys can possibly see. Okay, so all images. Actually, let me turn this back on so I can connect the light back on. Okay, so there's my pig. There is my elephant. And there is the beaver. And so now what you're going to do is you're actually going to go ahead and take your ultra thick embossing powder and you are going to pour it over. Now don't worry, because this is definitely not how much embossing powder it takes to emboss the picture. I just like to overdo it and then just kind of press it in. Kind of not miss any spaces, hopefully. Okay. I'm going to pour this back in. Like I said, it doesn't take much, so just shake that onto my trash. And I noticed that there's some parts of it that did not catch. I'm just going to pour it back on. And then in. And if you notice that there's some lines that have not picked up correctly, you can actually always go over them with your embossing pen again and then just trace over that. So I do that at the end. Just get up this stuff all good. Like I said, this one jar will last you a long time. Just pour that back in. Whoops. Just shake that out. This one did not stick very well. And like I said, you don't have to have a Cricut to do this. You could totally freehand this. But I like doing the Cricut because, one, I'm not a good artist, so I can't do any of these drawings. So it's really helpful for me to have something that does the drawings for me. Okay. All right. So it looks 3D, and what we're going to do is we're going to take it over to the heat machine, and we're going to go ahead and melt the plastic. So here are all the pictures that we just embossed, well, almost embossed. So I'm going to go ahead and take the heat gun and go ahead and, I guess, heat the embossing powder up. So the embossing powder is actually particles of plastic, and so once you actually heat it up, it melts. And so I'm going to go ahead and do one. It's going to be extremely loud, so I am sorry. So what I'll do is I will go ahead and pause it and then do it in hyperlapse so that you guys aren't privy to that torture for a long time. Right? So these are the final images. And I did do one of the child. And so once it's done embossing, it is a lot darker and it's completely permanent. You can't scratch it off, it won't rub off, it won't peel off. It's completely bonded. And you'll notice that my child is actually thicker than the pig. And the reason why is because in Cricut Design Space, the child did start off as a cut image. And once you convert a cut image into a draw image, it does a double outline. And so the two lines tend to bleed with each other since the bullet marker is thicker. And so you get that thicker outline. It does tend to bleed a little bit, so it looks a little bit messier, but it is thicker. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I love helping out. If you have any questions or if you want to do anything custom, definitely reach out to me and I'd love to collaborate. All right, guys. Well, have a good night. Hope you enjoyed.